What's up, everybody? It has been a long time since I made a video, but I'm gonna try to make one now. So if you can see behind me, there is a Gravity Paramotor back here hiding in all these boxes. So I'm gonna unbox this thing. We're gonna put it together, see how hard it is. I'll do some time lapse and stuff, and let's get started. So really quick, here is the damage. Fully unboxed. Here's all the pieces. And when they say that this comes unassembled, they mean unassembled. There's a couple extra bags of nuts and bolts and pieces that I haven't separated out because I want to kind of keep them together. But yeah, here's all of it. Another quick pro tip, keep all your packaging. Inevitably, you're gonna be almost done and you're gonna be missing one little baggie of parts or missing something, and you're gonna end up digging back through your trash. So I keep all my boxes for a while, at least a few days. There's been a couple times where suppliers give me something and they sort of put it in a weird spot, or it's mixed in with the packing materials. It's just always a good idea to keep the packaging on hand. You never know when you're gonna skip something or miss something. So I was thinking I could give some initial thoughts on a couple of the pieces. Specifically, the one everybody wants to talk about is this big ass thing. This is the fuel tank and what's known as the fuselage. Anthony Bella. Initial impressions, this thing is stout. This thing, it's very solid. It has zero flex. Even in the large flat parts, I can barely get I can barely feel it move. And this would be some of the thinnest pieces, and then as it comes up here, they have additional contours and thicknesses up in the up where it needs to be solid. This looks really nice. You're gonna hear me use the words fit and finish probably a lot of times. I'm a fit and finish nut. I want everything to be, I want all the details taken care of. I want all the little edges to be cleaned off for me. I want to feel like somebody put their time and effort into something. And so far, everything I've seen is that way. So let me show you some other pieces. Carbon fiber seat board. That's cool. I'm not crazy enough. I don't do enough acro to really need a carbon fiber seat board. I'm not breaking the wood seat boards, but I'll take one. They include it. Sweet. The swing arm. This thing's really nice. The anodization is really clean. It's got nice rounded or chamfered edges. It's just high quality. Like I said, the fit and finish, all the details seem to be where they need to be. Same thing with the spars. This looks really nice. You can see the indentations where I'm assuming some a pin or a click indentation or some sort of spring-loaded something is gonna go. I'm gonna have to see once we start assembling it. But all these little edges, chamfers around all these, all the CNC looks really clean. The colors all match perfectly. This looks really nice. And then the hoop sections. This isn't like a standard. These are the aluminum hoop sections. This isn't like a standard paint. This is it's got a texture to it. You're not gonna have to worry about this scratching easily. This is really thick. This seems really nice. It's really well done. Everything shipped great. There wasn't any packaging issues. Obviously, it comes totally disassembled. You need to do everything. So it comes in a few different boxes instead of one huge box like you might get with a Parajet or a bunch of other, all the other types kind of come in one huge box, more assembled. So this one kind of packs down into smaller boxes. But this looks really nice. I'm gonna start assembling. Oh, sweet. Of course, the obligatory Gravity Defiant mug, beer stein thing. Whoa, it's got my name in it. Sweet, that's cool. Nice, let's go fill this up. All right, nice stout root beer. It's like 8:30 a.m., so this is as close as I got. Even comes with Loctite, which is kind of nice. Gotta feed them into here.
You're gonna want to go ahead and insert your spoke with the notch of the spoke here.
Okay, so I'll give you guys a little update. It's a little later in the day. I've really only been working on this maybe an hour. I've got some pieces on the tank, the battery box cover, the harness straps that attach to the tank. Got the hoop holder pieces on. Everything's super high quality, really well done. The tolerances are really tight. Everything fits very perfectly. I would say the only downside to this so far, and probably where I spent more than half of my time, is not the assembly, but finding which bolts go in which spots. There's a few, for instance, these are the same like diameter, same size bolt, same heads, but they're one's stainless, one's not, and they're like 1 millimeter different length. So trying to figure out where those go versus other pieces and following their instructional video, you're left guessing a little bit. So it takes a lot of time to kind of be like, okay, well, I have 4 of these ones, 2 of these ones. Where could I possibly need 4 versus 2 to make sure that you're using the right ones? Hopefully that makes sense. They're just getting started on this process for this Defiant motor. So I'm guessing down the road, they might have a little more organization, like you get those IKEA packages with there's 4A, 2 B bolts, 3 C bolts, and maybe the instructions will correspond to a letter, some sort of organization. That would be my only gripe so far. Other than that, it's pretty easy to assemble, especially using the video. It's pretty dead simple. Just screw a few pieces together. That's not a big deal. All right, I'm gonna keep trucking along.
Simply slide into position, and a front plate will capture over the front.
All right, so in the fuel tank, there is a flat shelf right here. It's supposed to be a hole for the fuel line and a rubber grommet and the fuel filter to go down in and go all the way to the bottom of your tank. I just got lucky. They forgot to drill it. It's just a 1/2-inch hole, so I just pop one of those in really quick. They assure me that they won't miss this again, and I'm the only one that's had this, so not a big deal. Make a quick hole. That's the only problem I've had so far, and making a little hole is super easy, so very minor issue. I know this is minor, but this fuel cap with the retention strap and these threads are big, and they're not, the fuel cap is a really hard plastic, and obviously this is metal, the base plate. So you're not gonna strip these threads out over time and end up having to fiddle with it. You just get it anywhere close and it screws all the way on, and it's got a huge rubber O-ring inside that should seal it up great. This thing rocks. And installing this fuel line, super easy. I just drilled the hole, dropped the fuel line in, snap the grommet in, shove this metal fitting inside, and that thing, I mean, you can hang the entire tank and assembly by that. It is not going anywhere. Every time I put a piece on, I'm kind of continually impressed. I mean, they're little things, but they do all add up to a really nice feeling unit. Looks pretty good. All right, I'll say one thing about the netting. Took a little bit to string it together, but it's actually a pretty easy process. One thing is the way they have that ratchet strap in the back. But this is probably the tightest, you know, guitar string netting that I've ever seen. It's feels very strong, and it should actually do a lot to really reinforce the frame and keep it from, you know, keeps all these pieces together, keeps the frame from flexing, all that stuff like that. So I like it. I'm pretty impressed. It's very nice. Okay, so I just finished building the Gravity Defiant. It took me a few days. We have a newborn baby, so I'm working on it in like 10 or 15 minute chunks. But you know, I still got a good idea of what it's like to assemble one. This is not a paramotor that you just slide, you know, shimmy out of a box and it's basically ready to go and you're done in 20 minutes with setup. You're gonna need a good few hours to put this together. This isn't a 1 hour or 2 hour thing. You're gonna want a couple days to tinker with it, figure out which screws go where, that sort of thing. That kind of brings me to things that I don't love about this. There aren't many things that I don't like. This is a really nice paramotor. I guess the first thing is assembly. This is quite a bit of work. Every major component has to be bolted on, and it's not, there's quite a few of them. The bag of bolts isn't labeled hardly at all. So you just get a big, you know, bag of loose nuts and bolts and pieces. And the instructions do a good job of telling you how to put this piece together and put a bolt in there, but there's a lot of similar bolts. So you have to take some time, watch through the rest of the build, start thinking, okay, there's 4 of these longer bolts and 2 of these shorter bolts. So these 2 must go here and those 4 have to be used there. So you kind of have to start doing some like part math and figuring out what goes where. It's not quite as organized as say like some IKEA thing where all the pieces are labeled. There's, you know, in individual bags that say A, there's 4 A's and 5 B's, and you know, they're not that organized, but they're really, you know, all the parts are there. It's laid out well. The instruction, the videos are really well done. So it's not hard to figure out. It just takes a little time. That's my main point. I absolutely love where the gas cap fill spot is, and I liked that there was a little retention strap. I was thinking I might remove it anyway, but just about the first time I took the gas cap off, I sort of just dropped it and let it dangle. The flimsy little piece of plastic retention strap broke, and the inner portion of the gas cap fell down inside the tank, and I was left with a gas cap with a little tiny piece of plastic hanging off. Not a big deal for me. If you're absolutely in love with that retention leash, just know that it's a little, you know, just treat it with care. I was a little bit, you know, hard on it and it just broke. I'm gonna leave that piece of plastic down there as a memento. I'll know what it is and see it floating around every now and then. It'll make me laugh. There aren't that many things that I don't like about this so far. I mean, obviously I haven't flown it, but just as far as build quality of the parts, assembly, how it feels, the other negatives I could find that I could think of, I'm looking back at it trying to find more things that I don't love, would maybe be the harness, but that's primarily because I'm really used to the dudek power seat that on my other paramotors, and that, you know, The Parajet Maverick that I usually fly has a Dudek power seat. It's a really good harness. I think so is this one. This is basically a Sup Air that's rebranded with Gravity styling, but it's not what I'm used to. So the buckles feel different. The waist strap is different. Just, you know, there's differences. But once I get hanging and I'm in a, you know, a flying position in the seat, it actually feels really good. It's very comfortable. It's a little wider. It's a little has a little more breathing room. So I think in the long run I might end up liking it more. But it's just not what I'm used to right now. So that's pretty much it for the negatives. I'm sure there's other minor ones that just didn't come to mind. I was just editing this video and I forgot to mention really quick, the mount points for running the fuel hoses, throttle cables, that sort of stuff, a little bit difficult. That's one other con, one negative. There's not any like round tubes or any of the traditional things that you mount fuel lines. There's nothing to zip tie to. It's a solid kind of rounded tank, right? So there's not a lot of locations to mount that sort of thing. So that made it a little difficult. I did what I could. I think I got a pretty good solution. It seems pretty clean and stable. It should last. So yeah, just wanted to point that out. Things that I like, I really love how robust and safe the swing arm connection is. I love that you can slide it in and out, adjust it widthwise. I'm really looking forward to trying that puck system that lets the swing arms swing horizontally, side to side a little bit. Comes with the level 1 pucks, and I'll have to purchase some other ones to see if I can feel what that difference is like. I like that there's so many easy spots to get to adjust the hang point, and it's really fast to change hang point adjustments. That's pretty nice. A lot of just really minor things add up to being a nice overall unit. I listed it as a con, but a positive thing would be the harness. I like some of the adjustments on the harness out of the gate. I like even more. I especially like the fact that the tank is gigantic. It holds 5 full gallons. I really love the giant pulley on the up where it's easy to access above your head, and then it's a big pulley in itself. So that big pulley is just gonna lead to a little longer lifespan of your starter rope, just easier pulls in general. It's just a solid, classy way to do a pulley setup like that. And that's kind of what I've found through the whole build of this thing. It's just really well done. It's very thought out. I'm a nut for fit and finish. So something that has all the details thought of, and the parts that you get are really nice and they fit together perfectly. You slide, the tolerances are tight. The finish is perfect. There's no kind of scratches or imperfections, or if it was on a welded machine, there's no welds that look, all the welds are good except this one looks a little weird. That really bugs me. Yeah, if you sell something, it should be nice. And these guys make a machine that is really nice. Some other cons that I just thought of, it's big. This is a larger paramotor. It swings 130 centimeter prop. I'm used to flying more like my Parajet Maverick, which is 125 centimeter, a little smaller cage. So this just feels larger. And with that sort of larger stature, you get a little more weight. It weighs exactly 63.2 pounds. So it's a good 9 pounds heavier than my Parajet Maverick, which was about 54 pounds. You can feel it. It's a larger, heavier paramotor. Is that the end of the world? Not for me. Generally, if I had a choice, I would choose a lighter machine. But I want to give this a try for a while. I've been flying long enough. I don't generally end up doing multiple launches in a day if I don't intend to. So I get it out of my truck, I walk it to my wing, I clip in, I launch, and I'm done. That being said, I'm not that concerned about an extra 9 pounds. Worth note, they have a lot of carbon fiber upgrades on this that you're gonna be able to install to drop that weight further. They've got some carbon fiber, the hoop section, the actual hoop pieces right now are aluminum, I believe, and they're gonna replace those with carbon fiber, and they said it's gonna drop a couple more pounds, and they'll have another set of upgrades, carbon fiber pieces, that you're gonna be able to drop the weight another 4 pounds or something like that. So there are ways to get there, to spend a little money, do carbon fiber upgrades, and get that weight to only a 5 pound difference, which isn't that bad. 5 pounds isn't the end of the world, neither is 9. So just stuff to think about. I love the carrying handles at the top of the tank. The top of the tank has these built-in carrying handles. It's things like that that really make the Defiant nice to use. It's a, like I keep saying, it's a well thought out, nice machine. So time will tell whether I love it, it's the best thing in the world, or do I stick with my Maverick. I'm gonna keep selling both because they kind of fit whatever styles people want. It's nice to have machines to kind of fit different use cases or different body types or body sizes, those sorts of things. So next steps, I gotta put fuel in this guy. I need to do a quick break-in and then fly it. The weather is very horrific right now. I don't know when I'm gonna have a lot of flying time, so it might be a little bit until the video comes out, but I can give another first impressions. I'm not gonna do a deep dive review on this anytime soon. I haven't been making hardly any videos anyway. As it stands, that's where this video is gonna end. Hopefully you guys liked it. If you wanna know specific things about it, I guess I could make another video. Feel free to leave a comment, ask questions. I can show off anything about it. I'm learning about this with you guys, so let me know what you think. Hope you like this one. Keep on the Defiant train and keep making stuff as I start flying and know more. See ya.